Creating a game on Playoff is simple and intuitive. You just have to register into the platform with your own email, choose a password, and once you've logged in, you will have access to your game design dashboard. Let's create your first game together. Click the Create Game button. Fill in the title of your game and give it a unique ID which will identify it from all the other games on the platform. For example, Easy Learning. Select your time zone from the drop-down menu. Describe briefly the purpose of your game. This game, for example, aims to make the learning experience more engaging by stimulating and rewarding some actions that user can make on a learning platform. Finally, just hit the Create button and that's it. You created your first game. Once you've created the game on Playoff, open the game menu area to discover the 6 components provided by Playoff for each game design project. Let's have a look at them together. Metrics are what you measure within a game. They are used to track players' performance and behaviors. As an example, points, badges, achievement, level advancement. Actions are the most basic way of capturing players' actions, such as making a post, using the group chat, or completing a follow-up module. Leaderboards are most commonly used to drive competitive behaviors within a game. Our leaderboards come with a ton of features that take you to the next level. Oh wait, did I forget? All leaderboards updates in real time. Rules state conditions that, when fulfilled by a player, affect the player in some way. You can use them to provide achievements and level up players when they get a certain amount of points. Processes allow the game designer to structure the player journey and to control, for example, the order in which players can perform the task available to them. Finally, teams define a subset of players within your game and can be easily used to model teams within your organization. Let's go now to set up the metrics of our game Easy Learning by selecting the plus symbol. As you can see, Playoff provides you with 4 types of metrics. Point metrics, which consists in attributing points when players perform certain types of actions. Set metrics, which allows you to reward players with badges to represent their progress. State metrics, which indicates a particular state which the player is currently in. And finally, the compound metrics, a special type of a metric whose values depends on other metrics. For our game, let's select the point metrics, call it attention, and click on Create. Now let's set up a second metric, which always involves the assignment of a score, and call it problem solving. Problem solving and attention are 2 soft skills we might want to monitor and reinforce in an online training context. With the point metric, we are going to assign points to users who will perform certain actions, which we are going to set up now. The operation is the same. Just click on plus and you're done. We just have to decide which actions we want to reward, thinking about the goals of our game. The goal of the Easy Learning game is to stimulate users to participate actively in the online lesson. So I decide to encourage the using chat action to ask questions to the teacher and make the lesson more interactive. Now, let's set up the scores. We'll assign 15 points on the attention metric whenever the user will use the chat to ask questions, and 10 points on the problem-solving metric. By clicking on Create, let's set up the first action. Now, let's set up a second action called Complete the Follow-up module, rewarding the user who performs this action with 10 points on the attention metric and with 15 points on the problem-solving metric, but only after the 3rd time the user will perform this action. Well, now we just have to set the leaderboards by going into the game design panel, selecting the leaderboards, and clicking on the plus button to create the first leaderboard. In the context of training, for example, we might want to display two types of leaderboards. The first is the one of the most attentive students and moves and measures the attention metric previously set. Clicking on Create, we have set up the first leaderboard. Now, let's set up a second leaderboard, always clicking the plus button, called Students with Problem Solving, which moves and measures problem-solving metric of our users. By clicking on Create, we have set up the second leaderboard. Once your game is completely designed, it is now ready for some testing. By clicking on Launcher and selecting Simulate, Playoff allows you to simulate your game and check for any flaws in your design through the creation of dummies, mock players you can use to test out your game on. Dummies help you check if all your achievements, lane candidate checks, processes behave as expected. Let's set up the first dummy by clicking on the plus button and giving it a name. Once your dummy is created, we just have to make him do things which we previously set. Let's assume, for example, that John compiles the follow-up module twice and uses the group chat 3 times. Let's set up a second dummy named Andrea in order to view a leaderboard, making him perform these actions. Andrea compiles the follow-up module 4 times and he uses group chat twice. On the left panel, the scores obtained for each metric are displayed, while on the right panel, the actions performed and the relative partial scores are displayed. Well, now we have nothing left but to test our leaderboards by clicking on the leaderboard button, selecting the leaderboard you are interested in viewing between the two sets, and discover who is the winner. Did you see how simple and intuitive it is to create a game on Playoff? What are you waiting for? Test yourself by creating your first gamification project now.